Over a year ago, I did my first review. Yeah, I know I missed the actual anniversary. I haven't been able to be as active on this channel as I would have wanted. Let me go ahead and share at least one reason why. If you don't care about any of that, go ahead and either click on the screen right now or head to the timestamp below to skip this section. So I was using my computer as per usual, then suddenly it stops working, just completely freezes, and after I restart I can't even get it to boot up anymore. Turns out the motherboard and or CPU fried. So I take it to Staples to get it repaired, but because, well, I can't boot it up, they referred me to a different business. A home business, to be specific. He works out of his garage. Anyway, I take my computer to him. It also turns out my hard drives have failing sectors. Only one that I really have to replace immediately, though. But my main problem is still the CPU/motherboard. So he tells me what parts I needed to buy in order to get it to boot. Specifically, it's a new CPU, a CPU fan, and a motherboard. So I buy it from Tiger Direct. It pended for over a week, then the order canceled itself. But anyway, I placed another order. In 6 days, my processor shipped, followed by my CPU fan 4 days later. Then 6 days later, I got an email. It turns out the final part I needed was back-ordered and wouldn't arrive for over a month. So I bought it from Newegg instead and it arrived within the week. So, thanks to Tiger Direct, I was without my computer for over a fucking month. Talk about an ordeal. Which is why I have been inactive on all my channels for a bit. I do have plenty of reviews in pre-production, so hopefully this channel should become more active in the future. Let's go ahead and celebrate my 1-year anniversary by taking another look at Breadwinners. This time, let's begin with the first episode that aired, Thug Loaf. We open with a fly safe billboard. It's going to be crashed into, isn't it? Also, that duck is dead.
In the arms of the angel.
Nope, never mind. You know, a lot of people don't seem to like the background music. I do get why people don't like it. For me, I don't really mind it. I just wish it was accompanied by better animation and writing.
Breadwinners are supposed to deliver all of their bread. We still got 12 extra loaves left.
Can't we just deliver them tomorrow?
Nah, man. Nobody wants day-old bread.
So, is all the bread made to order? No, wait, you mine it. So why is day-old bread a problem? Because bread mined from the planet, I'm fairly certain, is already way more than a day old. I'm probably just overthinking it. They get a buyer for the excess bread, but it's in a bad neighborhood.
The Lower East Side. Nuh-uh, count me out.
What, have you never had a buyer in that neighborhood? Anyway, they head down to the Lower East Side. They present it like every other stereotypically bad neighborhood on TV. I don't know anything about New York, so I won't comment on its accuracy.
Just don't make eye contact with anyone.
But make sure to assault random people. They get to the buyer and he looks like a stereotypical rapper, because of course he does. They make the delivery and head back to the rocket van, but they luck themselves out. So what do? Well, they trick biker ducks into breaking into their car, of course. The biker ducks, of course, don't take kindly to this. So the leader fights Sway Sway.
Oh no, not the ladle.
I don't get it.
Sway, sway, I'm coming!
And Stilts.
I'm coming in.
Brilliant! I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Okay, you want some of this? Yeah.
Falling off the stilts, Badooz falls into the leader biker. He stumbles into an alley and is eaten by a monster. How convenient.
What are they saying?
Wait, why can't you understand them?
So now they're making you Badooz von Deuce Persukovich the First, their new leader!
Why can Sway Sway understand them? Did he take a class in duck or something? And why are only certain ducks speaking English with the rest of them, well, speaking duck?
I don't want to be leader of the biker ducks.
Have you forgotten our motto?
Nah, 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 nah.
Okay then. Man, this whole sequence is weird. Also, it has no backgrounds. So they escape using a group photo as a distraction. They drive off, but of course it can't be that easy. So the writers teleport the biker ducks into the van. How are the breadwinners going to get out of this one? Are they finally done for? Tune in next time to find out. Yeah, just kidding. All Badooz has to do is push a lever with his ass.
That was easy.
Your butt! Your butt! You saved us with your butts!
We end with a song about the ass. Oh, sweet Jesus, don't twerk. While this is far from the worst episode, it has a major lack of substance. Most of the episode is just uninteresting. Not to mention the main conflict is pathetic. The biker ducks barely serve as a conflict. Plus, it's resolved with almost no effort. Overall, it doesn't really come together into much. The next episode is Mine, All Mine. The episode serves as the main introduction into the show. And of course, the episode starts with a substandard rap.
What a great day to be a breadwinner, whether you're an expert or a beginner.
Like the theme song, the flow isn't terrible, but the writing is atrocious.
No rocks, no stones, no dirt, no granite, just tons of bread make up this planet.
And the planet also seems to be entirely covered in water. So is the bread closest to the top really soggy? Is that why they go deep underground to mine bread? Also, the planet seems to have a ton of monsters. Anyway, the breadwinners get lost and they run into someone.
Greetings, my aquatic bread-loving friends.
Ass shot. So the bread maker is pretty much God if he was a bro. The breadwinners get a magic toaster to summon the bread maker whenever they want.
Only use it in case of emergency. Hasta la vista.
Fuck you, asshole.
I can't believe we actually met the bread maker!
Wow, that animation is terrible. The breadwinners abuse the magic toaster in what ends up being a predictable crying wolf story.
Dude, yes!
In this scene, we can get some creepy screenshots. It kinda looks like a heavy metal cover. So, after repeatedly abusing the toaster, the legitimate wolf of the crying wolf story ended up being a lava mole.
Toast.
What was the toast laced with?
I'll teach you to take what I say is mine.
So they try to rub for help, but the bread maker is in the refusing to help part of the crying wolf story. Also, Badooz twerks on a toaster.
Let me see you back it up. Drop that ass down low and pick that motherfucker up. Bring it down, bitch. Let me see you back it up.
In the end, we all know who saves the day. The episode is bland. While the beginning is the only part I would call irritating, there's no part of the episode I would really call interesting. Most of this episode is just forgettable. Not much happens, really. It doesn't really do much with the crying wolf angle. It just seems like it was put there to create the climax, and because it was using something so predictable, there is no tension. Ultimately, it's just boring. The next episode is Lost at Pond. We begin with twerking and with Sway Sway pretending to be an airplane captain.
We're not expecting any turbulence today, so sit back, relax, and we'll be home in about 5 hours.
I'll go crazy from boredom. Crazy, I tell you. Crazy!
Well, at least crazy is defined by horror movies. Sway Sway does some tricks in the rocket van to alleviate boredom.
Oh, looks like those tricks used up all our gas.
Wow, talk about poor fuel efficiency. They end up stranded. They then try to survive with a survival guide. They mess up everything in a predictably predictable manner.
In the arms of the angel.
Nothing interesting happens until they're rescued by a cruise ship.
Ahoy there, lower life form!
The main conflict of the rest of the episode is Badooz being stuck in caveman mode, while Sway Sway tries to keep him in check. It doesn't work.
My dignity!
You know, this is one of the only kids shows I've seen with a visible penis bulge. Anyway, Badooz throws a guy overboard.
In the arms of the angel.
Badooz continues to harass a bunch of people while there's a bunch of gross out.
My buddy's just showing off the latest dance craze. The, savage supper dance. You put a power throwing down spaghetti on top of your head. Then you rip it back and forth.
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth.
My beautiful puppy.
So the dance ploy somehow works and the heroes steal a cruise ship.
Yo, let's try a barrel roll.
You're becoming more like your father.
Bye, Cap. Thanks for the lift.
And then the captain falls face first into a wooden dock. Ow. So that's the end of the episode. Mostly, it's just predictable, although Bedouce's actions on the ship can get kind of uncomfortable. Plus, why are they in the middle of a vast pond in the first place? It's kind of frustrating that the conflict seems to exist for no real reason. Any of the plot before the cruise ship doesn't really leave an impression, and the rest of the episode is not all that impressive. The next episode is From Bad to Nurse. Oh great, we're getting to the torture porns. We open looking at Duck Dinos and we head over to Ketta's. Ketta is introducing a new gadget for the van.
Hold on to your tail feathers.
Holding on to my tail feathers.
Those are my tail feathers.
Also, sexual harassment. Yeah, anyway, the new gadget is a Breadzuka. Because practical.
Where to next, Bap?
Of course he uses his butt to type. Get it? They have butts!
Mother, I painted a new portrait of you.
So, predictably, the Breadwinners destroy Team Mitty's living room. While testing the bread cannon and randomly referencing Rambo, Team Mitty is violently injured.
Don't worry, Team Mitty. I swear on my mama's patootie, we will make this up to you.
You swear on your mother's ass. So anyway, the basic plot is that Team Mitty doesn't want the Breadwinners' help, but the Breadwinners keep torturing him while trying to help him. Like Squidward, except in good episodes, Squidward at least did something to deserve it. Team Mitty, however, is 100% innocent.
Not relaxing enough? Maybe a nice warm bath will soothe those aches. Let's get those clothes off.
Well, that's creepy.
No need to thank us. We're just doing our duty.
Yeah, we're doing our duty in the bathtub. Oops.
Does Bedouce shit bread or something? The Breadwinners try to make a vegetable smoothie for Team Mitty, but they make it with peppers and hot sauce. Because of course they do. And he falls out the window. So Sway Sway mishears Team Mitty and thinks he wants fresh air. So how do the Breadwinners get Team Mitty the fresh air they think he wants? By tying him to the front of the rocket van, of course.
Nighty-night, Mitty.
What's that? You want to host a crazy heavy metal dance party complete with mosh pit and biker ducks?
Well, no, that's just contrived.
Vital signs are good.
Yeah, shake that busted up booty.
Hey, stop sexually harassing the bedridden. Team Mitty finally loses his temper and rightfully cancels all business with the Breadwinners.
I don't think he'll ever forgive us. Unless we hit him on the head so hard he forgets everything that happened.
Okay, let's go.
You know, sometimes I wonder if you're just evil. Ketta stops them and gets them to apologize instead, and random gross out. Given that fucking everything up is the Breadwinners' main trait, they of course break into Team Mitty's house. Then they try to apologize with a bazooka. Forgive us or die, motherfucker! The bazooka gets jammed.
So we're good, right? You accept our apology and stuff?
No.
They deserve that. So they end up being bedridden, with Team Mitty trying to nurse them back to health. Most of the episode is just watching Team Mitty getting tortured. At least unlike other torture porns, the tortured gets the upper hand. Plus, this show's torture is nowhere near as disturbing as other shows. Despite that, the torture is still not in any way funny. I wouldn't call it frustrating per se, but good lord, do I find it boring. The next episode is Love Loaf. We begin with an imaginary wedding. Yeah, eat that mouth like a hot dog.
You've been smooching up that picture of Jenny Crackles all day.
Well, that's creepy. Sway Sway then sings a song about his crush. It's meh. And then he almost dies.
Whoa!
Whoa!
So the bread maker exposits about the new type of bread they found. It's a love potion, essentially.
You sure this isn't butt loaf?
Yeah, totally looks like my butt.
Despite the rumor that the heart symbol was originally based on the shape of the female ass, such rumors only came about recently, and they remain speculative. That being said, I do get the connection.
If I get Jenny Quackles to eat this, she'll fall in love with me. It's not weird at all, right?
Little bit. But look, amigo, love is not something you want to rush into.
Or, you know, maybe it's incredibly wrong to force people to enter relationships without their consent. So they meet with Jenny's mom so Sway can force a girl into a relationship that she most likely doesn't want. It turns out that Jenny is at summer camp. So Jenny lives with her mom and is going to summer camp. Just how old is she? And how old are the Breadwinners? The answer determines whether Sway is creepy or really creepy.
Wow, pluck my feathers. No, I'm not getting fresh with you.
No, he's just trying to get fresh with your daughter. Jenny's summer camp is girl only, so Sway and Badoosh disguise themselves as girls to infiltrate the camp to force a girl to fall in love with Sway. And now instead of a jiggly butt, he has jiggly boobs. What is this, dead or alive?
Hey, my friend has a crush on you.
Get it? Because Jenny would think Sway was a lesbian. Later, they're roasting bread over campfire.
Speaking of love and bread,
So now Sway and Badoosh have been found out.
No boys allowed.
who you calling a boy? I'm a man.
I am a man and a half.
So we going home now or what? I gotta get my beauty sleep.
No, Badoosh. I will not rest a feather until I get Jenny Quackles to eat this love loaf, and thus win her love fair and square.
I think they're trying to lampshade how creepy this all is, but it's kinda minimal. Like, there's just a few lines here and there about it, and honestly, that's not enough for how creepy this is. I mean, now Sway's straight up stalking Jenny. Anyway, they end up picking the wrong cabin and waking up the wrong girls. Knowing that they're going to wake up the bears, it makes the fake out have less sense. How could that lump be the bears? So the bears eat the bread and they fall in love with the duo. Creepy. So the ducks escape in their underwear. Yeah, the unfortunate implications keep piling on, don't they? Also, how old are the ducks? Like, seriously. Because now that answer determines what part of the episode has the worst implications.
Oh, Jenny Quackles. One day you'll be mine.
No, she won't, dude. Move on. The episode is just creepy. Not only do I think love potions are inherently creepy, but the episode's main plot is about forcing a non-consenting girl to fall in love with someone. Not to mention the potential age difference. The pursuit of forced love even goes into stalker territory. Like he has been thrown out of the premises and yet he still keeps trying to follow Jenny. The show seems unaware of the unfortunate implications or is trying to lampshade said implications and make fun of love potions while failing at said endeavor. Like, seriously, if you wanted to point out how creepy love potions are, you need more than a few lines here and there. Honestly, Badoosh's French kissing himself was probably the best part of the episode, and that's not a good sign. The final episode we are looking at today is Beach Day of Horror, and again we finish on an underwhelming episode. So the Breadwinners head to the beach, and they hit an old man.
In the arms of
Watch, I've already used that joke 3 times before. I had to spice it up somehow. Just goes to show how many people the Breadwinners kill. They try to go swimming, but there's a monster that apparently can't go on land. Like, at all. The main conflict of this episode is Sway making sure Badoosh doesn't get eaten. And being Badoosh, he keeps putting himself in harm's way for no apparent reason. Well, no believable reason anyway. The monster almost eats Badoosh.
No one eats my best bet. Party punch!
What are you doing? Oh, my eye! You're got the pain! Oh, God, why?
Think I'll just shut my eyes.
Badoosh disappears, and Sway is tricked into thinking that the monster ate him. Turns out Badoosh was getting ice cream. You know what? That's actually not a bad misdirect. It uses what we know of Badoosh to make you think one thing was happening and subverting it in a reasonable way. And then they both get eaten.
No. This can't be happening. Wait, maybe we're both just having a nightmare.
We better wake each other up.
Do they just keep giant fish on hand for the purpose of hitting each other? They make a ladder out of driftwood and they use it to escape out of a pseudo-anus before being smacked down by the rocket van. So it turns out that yelling upsets the monster's stomach. So they rock the stomach so hard that he vomits. The episode was just memorable. Like a lot of episodes, it doesn't really do anything that grabs your attention. This one in particular, however, I barely remember. Upon revisiting Breadwinners, I find it less irritating and more boring. Once you get past the art style and the gross out, there really isn't much to the show. The characters are one note and the plots are paper thin. The writing is predictable and the conflicts are not interesting in the slightest. Not only is the show generic, but its own gimmicks fall apart rather quickly. But I suppose it does represent something though, namely the worst traits in American animation. Bat-flash animation, lazy references, over-reliance on stereotypically masculine humor, predictable jokes, flat one-note characters, forced reliance on current trends with the kids, and unintentionally bad messages. Yeah, a second viewing did not soften my opinion on this show. I'm glad no one walked in on me while I was making this.